so glad we are back. So I look forward to it. Don't you all forget to get something to drink and hop on with us as we have these conversations about these amazing topics that Pastor Jay and I, T. Drake, will be talking about.
Thank you for tuning into Monday Morning Conversation with Pastor Jay and T. Drake. Grab your coffee, tea, or milk, and let's talk about the topic for today. Let's get the conversation going.
This is Pastor Jay and T. Drake with Monday Morning Conversation, and we're beginning our subject matter of cuffing season right behind Cloak and Cover and Hub Sun. They kind of fade into each other, so we're back. Go get your coffee, tea, or milk, and get ready to listen to us talk about cuffing season. Let's get ready. Hey, T, what's going on?
Hey, Pastor Jay, not much. Looking forward to this topic.
Alrighty. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. We have an article about cuffing season, then we're going to go into the definition, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. And just remember, fair exchange is not robbery, so let's go ahead home.
Okay, can I start with the definition first, and then the article, Pastor Jay?
You sure can. Whatever you want to do, my dear.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give the definition, and then we'll get into the article. So the definition of cuffing season, it refers to a period of time where single people begin looking for short-term partnerships to pass the colder months of the year. Cuffing season usually begins in October and lasts until just after Valentine's Day. The use of the word cuff references handcuffs, but it's slang in the same vein as hooking up or getting hitched. And that's from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary definition. So now, the article that we have found, it's coming from the clevelandclinic.org, and the title of this particular article says 8 strategies for dating during cuffing season, and it was written October 17th, 2022. And we're just going to read an excerpt from that, not the entire thing. So here we go. And it says, the signs behind cuffing season. When the temperature drops and it gets cold earlier, there is often a change of mood connected with 2 chemicals of melatonin and serotonin in your body, says Dr. Albers. Dark, cold nights can trigger an intense feeling of loneliness and a drop in serotonin, and there may even be a significant link between cuffing season and the seasonal affect disorder. The seasonal affect disorder, known as SAD, is a type of depression that's triggered by a change in seasons and environmental stress. The winter blues is a milder version of the same condition, but usually SAD affects your day-to-day life, so you experience this depression nearly all day, almost every day, during specific seasons. If you have SAD, you tend to lose motivation in activities you love, feel lonelier and more fatigued and more withdrawn. And though it can be triggered by the onset of summer, it's most often associated with winter because of holiday stress and harsh weather conditions. SAD intensifies feelings of being alone or blue, says Dr. Albers, and dating is often a healthier strategy of coping than pulling the covers over your head. Since cuffing season only lasts as long as the fall and winter months, relationships that begin during cuffing season are often short-term or temporary and tend to last as long as the season itself. In some cases, those short-term relationships could blossom into something long-term if both parties are enjoying themselves. But be warned, the downside of dating during cuffing season is that sometimes you might intentionally or unintentionally lock yourself into a relationship you don't really want to be in. The downside is that needing to be in a relationship right now often makes people lower their standards or expectations in a relationship, says Dr. Albers. They are willing to be with people who are convenient and available versus those who truly match them. And dating relationships are different for everyone. That's especially true during cuffing season, when all eyes are on couples. We see loving relationships plastered in every Hallmark holiday movie. We're often fielding questions of our relationship status from friends and family while mingling around the dinner table. And if we're feeling lonely, we may consider dating, if only to fulfill our short-term need of companionship and intimacy. And Pastor Jay, I'm going to pause right there unless you want me to read more. There's 2 more long paragraphs, or you want me to stop right there?
No, we can stop right there and just get right on into it.
Okay.
We know that we talked about this earlier in the week, that we noticed that it's starting earlier and earlier. That's it goes around. We normally starts right after Halloween, but we find that this year it started almost right at the 1st of October, closer to Columbus Day. The mood is set, that we were talking about earlier too, that due to the stress of the nation, because it talked about in the article, the stress of the nation, the change of the season, and for some reason or another, people are looking for some relief from the day-to-day stress of this nation. You know, we got inflation, we got social issues going on, we have religious issues going on, and people are still wanting to enjoy themselves with each other, which is a good thing on one level, but we talked about being the hurting and the horny, and this cuffing season sets that up already. But with the stresses of what's going on in the United States and around the world with family members, with the COVID and all of that, it's like it's been hyper energized, because this is one of the years that we can actually get back together. You know, we were told to stay apart for so long, and people did, people doing cuffing season work through that. But now it's, get your shots, you okay, go enjoy yourself. All right. But it also sets up what we call blood in the water, which means that during this season, just like any other season or rutting season during deer season, there are scents being put out. You're putting out signals and signs and scents that you are available, that you are wanting this relationship. And again, I want to always say, fair exchange is not a robbery. In the article, she said, if you can find someone who you can communicate with and work this out equitably, then it could be an okay thing to do. But the fact that somebody's looking for a short term, and you're getting off the signals that you really want somebody, but you may want somebody for long term, or the unequal balance on either side, male or female, and partners, you may end up being blood in the water. And that's what we talked about last year. It's like you're giving off this scent like chum to sharks, that you are available, that you are ready, and a lot of times that you're vulnerable. You're wounded and you want to be with somebody. You may have been in a relationship up to that point and you broke up, because a lot of guys know this is the time where you buy presents, and this is the time to break up. And a lot of ladies, and it goes for the ladies too, you don't want to spend that money, so you break up. So again, the person that you broke with really wants to be with somebody, wanted to be with you. You don't want to be with them, but now you're blood in the water. So when I say blood in the water, T, what do you think? What do you think about that? As far as sending off the sign, the signal, and the scent that you're available, that you want a relationship. And we're not talking about just a friendly relationship. We're talking about a relationship, friends with benefits, coitus, sex, wherever you want, however you want to define it. We're talking about going to that next level where you're under the sheets and your shoes under somebody else's bed. So, so T, what do you think?
Well, when you say send it out sense, it always sends out that person's very vulnerable. They're in a place of whatever they're going through or coming out of, and that, like you said, others can sense and tell that there's a vulnerability. And just like lions and sharks on the prey, they can sense and they know, okay, this person is ripe for me to pounce on, ripe for me to prey on. And they will find it and say whatever they need to say. And as we know, we find chameleon sharks that will do whatever they have to do to be whatever you need and say and appease that which you need. And women need to hear something. So whatever can be said and the right words have been said, and there you go. And like you said, shoes underneath other people's beds, and voila.
Yeah, and what it does is sets up a possibility, again, for a great relationship after cuffing season. Maybe you've enjoyed yourself. Maybe you You hit it off well, and you're going to continue past cuffing season. But we don't want to deal with the successes. The successes are self-explanatory, but there's a lot of problems come with being blood in the water. The fact that you are in a position to be taken advantage of emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially, whereas you believe it's forever and another day, and they are truly participating in cuffing season. And that's one of the worst things that can happen, where one is thinking one thing and another one is thinking something else, and you go ahead and continue the relationship because you still want to be with somebody, and you think you found the right person, but actually you just found a shark participating in the game. You found a player in the game. You found a wolf in sheep's clothing. However you want to define it is up to you. But you have to ask yourself, am I the prey or the predator? What do you think, T?
Well, also, when you were talking about that prey or predator, are you willing, the game that you were talking about, are you willing to pay that cost? And you understand what that's going to cost you. And it might not just cost you financially. Are you mentally, emotionally equipped to